are listening to Dark Matter Radio with your host, Ronnie. This glorious globe, they say it's a globe, but this earth, this plane, whatever we live on, we are getting to the heart of the matter today with a Dark Matter Radio News update, and it is about Trump's wall. New reports of this coming in that the wall is going to cost $21.6 billion and take 3.5 years to build. This is what we are up against right now with the Trump wall, and what does it mean for the original indigenous beings of North America? Well, the President Donald Trump's wall along the U.S. Mexico border would be a series of fences and walls that would cost as much as $21.6 billion and take more than 3 years to construct. Based on a U.S. Department of Homeland Security internal report seen by Reuters on Thursday. Reuters is a news organization that gives out basic reports. The report's estimate price tag is much higher than the $12 billion figure cited by Trump in his campaign, and estimates as high as $15 billion from Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan and the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. The plan lays out what would take to seal the border in 3 phases of construction of fences and walls covering just over 1,250 miles or 2,000 kilometers by the end of 2020. With 654 miles or 1,046 kilometers already fortified, the new construction would extend almost the length of the entire border. Many cost estimates and timelines have been floated since Trump's campaign on the promise of building a wall. The report seen by Reuters is the work of a group commissioned by Kelly as a final step before moving forward with the requesting U.S. taxpayer funds from Congress and getting started on the construction. A DHS spokeswoman said the department does not commit on or confirm or does not comment or confirm the political existence of pre-decisionals. Deliberative documents. The White House spokeswoman said it would be premature to commit on a report that has not officially been presented to the president. So this is really, really serious breaking news in terms of the information that we're getting. So the report said that the first phase would be the smallest, targeting sections covering 26 miles near San Diego, California, El Paso, Texas, in the Texas Rio Grande Valley. Now, these are the high pressure points as to where the illegals are actually coming in. The report assumes that the DHS would get funding from Congress by April or May of this year, giving the department sufficient time to secure contractors and begin construction by September. Trump said that the Congress would fund the wall up front, but that Mexico will reimburse U.S. taxpayers. Mexico said it will not pay. Remember, we gave Mexico, quite some time ago, we were giving them like $40 billion a year to prevent their country from going into complete and total anarchy. So the several U.S. Congress delegations are visiting the border this month to assess funding needs, according to several people familiar with travel plans. The report shows that the U.S. government has been seeking waivers to address environmental laws on building in some areas. It shows the government has begun working with existing contractors and planning steel purchases for the project. Trump told law enforcement officials Wednesday, the wall is getting designated right now, and it's being designed as we speak this very moment. The report accounted for the time and cost of the acquired private land. One reason for its steep price increase compared to estimates from Trump's and members of Congress. Bernstein's research, an investment research group that tracks material costs, said that the uncertainties around the projects could drive its costs up to as much as $25 billion. But you're talking about a lot of jobs here, a lot of construction jobs for quite a long time. The second phase of construction proposed in the report would cover 151 miles of border in and around the Rio Grande Valley, Lauderdale, Texas, Tucson, Arizona, El Paso, Texas, and Big Bend, Texas. The third phase would cover an unprecedented 1,080 miles, essentially sealing off the entire U.S. Mexico border. There are some barriers to the construction, the report says, and it lays out the cost to cover the border with barriers. But funding constraints and legal battles are likely to place limits on those plans. It also does not account for major physical barriers like mountains in the areas where it would not be feasible to build. A source familiar with the plan said DHS may have to go to court to seek eminent domain in order to acquire some of the private land needed to cover the final and most ambitious phase. This is getting serious. The first phase, estimated to cost only $360 million, could be a relatively easy way for Trump to satisfy supporters eager to see him make good on his campaign promises to limit illegal migration. But the rest of the construction will be markedly more expensive, covering a much larger stretch of the land, but much of it privately owned or inaccessible by road. In addition to seeking eminent domain, the environmental waivers, the U.S. government would also have to meet the requirements of the International Boundary and Water Commission, a U.S. Mexico pact over shared waters. The report estimated the agreement alone could bring the cost from $11 million per mile to $15 million per mile in one area. And this is the report that is being given out by the United States Department of Justice and the United States State Department. This is an amazing development, and it is, I would say, a relatively good thing at this point right now for the original indigenous Americans that are in this country that are securing their independence and their freedom from this impending government that we are separating ourselves from. So this was a Dark Matter Radio News update about Trump's wall and the $26 billion that it's going to take and more than 3.5 years to build. As you know, just the other day, they started some deportation measures to make sure that people understand that this travel ban is going to be ensued and is going to be enforced. And with the travel ban, you know that there was one lower court that ruled against Trump, and then it went to a higher court, which is a step below the Supreme Court. It also upheld the ban, but it didn't give any reason why it did. It didn't. The judge said he didn't want to get into any kind of a political argument with them. So Trump just also announced that he will be, him and his team will be announcing new plans for a travel ban to help protect the America, the borders, and the immigration. This is Ronnie McLean for Dark Matter News, and be safe out there. Get on to Dark Matter radio station on Blog Talk Radio and follow. We have over 1,000 listeners now that are listening over to the show, and dedicated listeners. So get on the following list and make sure that you get your updates the way that you need them. Also, check out the United Front Line, Indigenous Nations in North America. Check out the website, and also be prepared to be able to register your name so that you can be in the registry as this government moves forward. We'll be talking to you soon. Thank you again. Dark Matter Radio, Ronnie McLean.